Today's Library 101 is on advocacy. It will go over some things that all libraries need to know about it. I won't get too technical about advocacy in this video, but I do encourage you to do some more research on your own. What is advocacy? The definition of advocacy is the act or process of supporting a cause or a proposal. In this case, it is to support the library and the many functions that the library brings to the community. Advocacy can take many forms and shouldn't be boxed into just one idea. Showing what your library has to offer is a form of advocacy, as is just talking about your work as a librarian. Why should you do it? The first and foremost reason to participate in advocacy efforts for your library is to show the library's relevance to the community. If you don't speak up for your library, no one else will, and that can cause serious repercussions for the library. By being vocal about your library and the services offered, you can gain the attention of those who plan what the library will receive in a budget. If the policymakers do not know what the library is doing, then they can't justify the current funding or an increase in it. Advocating for your library also helps to displace the common myths that no one uses a library anymore, or just because you don't read, there's nothing at the library for you. It is a place with a bunch of old books, it's too quiet, etc. Chances are that the people who are saying these types of things are the ones who haven't used a library since they were children and don't know what a modern library is like. It is during these types of conversations that you can change their way of thinking by showing what a library has to offer the community. You could learn why they think these things about the library and not only show them why they are wrong, but find out what the library could do for them or for their family. What can you do? Identifying who could be your biggest advocates is a great first step. It doesn't just have to be the library director who advocates for the library. The board members are also responsible for advocating for your library, as are any members of the foundation or friends group. All have a vested interest in the library that should compel them to talk to others about what the library has to offer. You can't just talk to one politician or go to one event outside of the library and say you have done your job as a library advocate. This is an ongoing process that needs to be considered every year. Particularly if you have been doing one type of advocacy, like just word of mouth, and aren't seeing anything from your efforts, then researching other types of advocacy and trying to implement those would be a better option. Attending non-library events can also be considered a form of advocacy. This will get you out into your community and talk to people who don't know what the library has to offer them. Finally, don't underestimate the power of a good infographic to distribute to your community. Collect data about your library and how it relates not only to your community, but to things that they identify with. This will make the data pop more and give an idea of how important the library really is. If you need ideas on where to get started with advocacy, the public library specialists are working on an advocacy page for the Public Library Director Toolkit in LibGuides. This should be up in the near future. Until that time, if you have any questions, please contact us in the Library Development Department at ndsltrain@nd.gov.